We will quickly do the prayers and then we'll get started. Give me a second. So welcome everyone for this week 6 of degree course on Bhagavad Gita. So please skip today Raja Radha Madhav and directly go to the prayers. Magyan Timirandasya Jnananjana Salake Chachurupurmilitam Yena Tasmai Sri Guruve Namaha Sri Chaitanya Manovistam Sthapitam Yena Bhutale Swayam Rupa Kada Mayam Dadati Swapadantikam Vandeham Sri Guru Sri Yuta Sri Gurun Vaishnavancha Sri Rupam Shagrajatam Shahagadalalitam Tam Tam Sajivam Shadvaitam Shavadutam Parijana Shahitam Sri Krishna Chaitanya Devam Sri Radha Krishna Padan Sri Gadalalita Sri Visakhantanscha हे कृष्ण करुणा सिंधु दीन बंधु जगतपते गोपेश गोपिका कांत राधा कांत नमस्ते तप्त कांचन गौरांगी राधे वृंदावनेश्वरी वृषभानुसुते देवी प्रणमामि हरिप्रिये वाञ्छाकल्पतरुभ्यश्च च कृपा सिन्धुभ्यैव च पतितानां पावनेभ्यो वैष्णवेभ्यो नमो नमः जय श्री कृष्ण चैतन्य प्रभु नित्यानंद श्री अद्वैत गदाधर श्रीवास आदि गौर भक्तवृंद हरे कृष्ण 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 हरे 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 राम 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 हरे 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 कृष्ण 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 हरे राम 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 हरे कृष्ण कृष्ण हरे राम 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 हरे Krishna. So today we are reading chapter in introduction. Do people remember where we are reading? Which page number, which section? Anybody wants to? Okay. Nobody remembers? It was page number 18. Right? And I have to look into where the Supreme Consciousness. Okay, help me to find where to read from where, because I know Purnima Pro told me chapter 18, but I don't remember where. Page number 18. And okay, give me a second. Okay, this is page number 10, right? I think I finished this. You guys want to help me or?
Prabhuji, page number 11.
Page number 11, right?
Yes.
Okay.
The
Page
second
number,
paragraph.
second paragraph. This is,
What is consciousness? This consciousness is I am.
okay. Thank you. So, just trying, I found in the book and now I'm trying to find in the PDF. Okay, here it is after this. Okay. So, all right, let's read from here. What is this consciousness? This consciousness is I am. And then what I am I. In the contaminated consciousness, I am means I am the Lord of all I survey. I am enjoyer. The world revolves because every living being thinks that he is the Lord and creator of the material world. Material consciousness has two psychic divisions. One is that I am creator, another is that I am enjoyer. But actually, the Supreme Lord is both the creator and the enjoyer, the living entity. Being part and parcel of the Supreme Lord is neither creator nor enjoyer, but a cooperator. He is created and the enjoyer. For instance, a part of machine cooperates with the whole machine, as a part of body cooperates with the whole body. The hand, legs, eyes, and so on are all parts of the body, but they are not actually the enjoyer. The stomach is the enjoyer. The legs moves, the hand supply food, the teeth chew, and all part of the body are engaged in satisfying the stomach because stomach is the principal factor that nourishes the body's organization. Therefore, everything is given to the stomach. One nourishes the tree by watering its roots, and one nourishes the body by feeding the stomach. For if the body is to be kept in a healthy state, then the parts of the body must cooperate to feed the stomach. Similarly, the Supreme Lord is the enjoyer and the creator, and we, as subordinate living beings, are meant to cooperate to satisfy him. This cooperation will actually help us, just as the foods taken by the stomach will help all parts of the body. If the finger of the hand thinks that they should take the food themselves instead of giving it to the stomach, then they will be frustrated. So the central figure of creation and enjoyment is the Supreme Lord, and the living entity are cooperative. While cooperation, they enjoy. The relation is also like that of a master and the servant. If the master is fully satisfied, then the servant is satisfied. Similarly, if Supreme Lord is satisfied, then although the tendency to become the creator and the tendency to enjoy the material world are there also in the living entity, because the tendencies are there in the Supreme Lord who has created the manifested cosmic world. Anyone wants to read? Next paragraph, next to three paragraph, let's read each person.
We shall find, therefore, in this Bhagavad Gita that the complete whole is comprised of Supreme Controller, the controlled living entities, the cosmic manifestation, eternal time, and karma are activities, and all of those are explained in this text. All of these taken completely form the complete whole, and the complete whole is called the Supreme Absolute Truth. The complete whole and the complete absolute truth are the complete personality of Godhead Sri Krishna. All manifestations are due to his different energies. He is the complete whole. It is also explained in the Gita that impersonal Brahman is also subordinate to the complete supreme person. Brahmanohe pratishtaham. Brahman is more completely explained in the Brahma Sutra to be like the rays of the sunshine. The impersonal Brahman is the shining rays of the Supreme Personality of Godhead. Impersonal Brahman is incomplete realization of the absolute whole, and so also is the conception of Paramatma. In the 15th chapter, it shall be seen that the Supreme Personality of Godhead, Purushottama, is above both impersonal Brahman and the partial realization of Paramatma. The Supreme Personality of Godhead is called Saksid Ananda Vigraha. Satchidananda Vigraha. The Brahma Samhita begins in this way. Ishvara Parama Krishna Satchidananda Vigraha. Anandhir Adhir Govinda Sarva Karna Karanam. Govinda Krishna is the cause of all causes. He is the primal cause, and he is the very form of eternity, knowledge and bliss. Impersonal Brahman realization is realization of his sat eternity feature. Paramatma realization is the realization of Sachit, eternity and knowledge. But realization of the personality of Godhead Krishna is realization of all transcendental features, Sat, Sit, and Ananda, eternity, knowledge, and bliss, in complete Vigraha form. People with less intelligence consider the supreme truth to be impersonal, but he is a transcendental person, and this is confirmed in all Vedic literatures. Nityanam Setana Setanam Katha Upanishad 2.2.13. As we are all individual living beings and have our individuality, the supreme absolute truth is also in the ultimate issue. A person and realization of the personality of Godhead is realization of all of the transcendental features in his complete form. The complete whole is not formless. If he is formless, or if he is less than any other thing, then he cannot be the complete whole. The complete whole must have everything within our experience and beyond our experience. Otherwise, it cannot be complete. Shall I continue, Prabhuji, or stop?
Thank you, Mataji. No, thank you. We can come back to you and some other person can read.
Yeah.
Thank you. Hare Krishna. Anyone else wants to go next 3 paragraph from the complete whole, page number 13? Okay, so I'll read, and then anyone else, when you feel comfortable, just let me know. The complete whole, the personality of Godhead, has immense potencies. Parasaktir Vividhair Shriyate. How Krishna is acting in different potencies is also explained in Bhagavad Gita. This phenomenal world or material world is in which we are placed is also complete in itself, because 24 elements of which this material is universe is a temporary manifestation according to Sankhya philosophy, and are completely adjusted to produce complete resources which are necessary for maintenance and sustenance of this universe. There is nothing extraneous, nor is there anything needed. This manifestation has its own time fixed by the energy of the supreme law whole. And when its time is complete, then temporary manifestation will be annihilated by the complete arrangement of the complete. There is a complete facility for the small complete unit, namely the living entities, to realize the complete, and all sort of incompleteness are experienced due to incomplete knowledge of the complete. So Bhagavad Gita contains the complete knowledge of the Vedic wisdom. So many things complete, right? Prabhupada is writing complete and incomplete. So I'm not going to discuss a lot, because this writing itself is a lot of discussion. So we'll read more to finish introduction, because then we can go to start with chapter 1 quickly. All Vedic knowledge is infallible, and Hindu accept Vedic knowledge to be complete and infallible. For example, cow dung is a stool of an animal according to Smriti or Vedic injunction. If one touches the stool of an animal, he has to take birth to purify himself. But in Vedic scripture, cow dung is considered to be a purifying agent. One might consider this to be contradictory, but it is accepted because it is a Vedic injunction. And indeed, by accepting this, one will not commit a mistake. Subsequently, it has been proven by modern science that cow dung contains all antiseptic properties. So, Vedic knowledge is complete because it is above all doubts and mistakes. And Bhagavad Gita is the essence of all Vedic knowledge. Vedic knowledge is not a question of research. Our research work is imperfect because we are researching things as with imperfect senses. We have to accept perfect knowledge which comes down, as is stated in Bhagavad Gita, by parampara, disciplic succession. We have to receive knowledge from a proper source in disciplic succession, beginning with Supreme Spiritual Master, the Lord Himself, and handed down to a succession of his spiritual master. Arjuna, the student who took lessons from Lord Krishna, accepts everything that he says without contradicting himself. One is not allowed to accept one proportion of Bhagavad Gita and not another. We must accept Bhagavad Gita without interpretation, without deletion, and without our own whimsical participation in the matter. Bhagavad Gita, the Gita should be taken as the most perfect presentation of Vedic knowledge. Vedic knowledge is received from transcendental sources. First word was spoken by Lord Himself. The word spoken by Lord is called Apurusheya, meaning that they are different. They are different from the word spoken by a person of mundane world, which is who is infected with four defects. A mundaner one is sure to commit mistakes. Two is invariably illusioned. Third has tendency to cheat others. And four is limited by imperfect senses. With these four imperfections, one cannot deliver perfect information of all pervading knowledge. Anybody wants to read from here?
Yes, Prabhu, may I read? Hello, Hare Krishna, Prabhu.
Yes. Thank you.
Hare Krishna,
Yeah,
Prabhu.
you can
I would
read.
like to
Can
read.
you? Yeah.
Okay, I'd like to read from Vedic knowledge.
Yes.
Vedic knowledge is not imparted by such defective living entities. It was imparted unto the heart of Brahma, the first created living being. And Brahma, in his turn, disseminated this knowledge to his sons and disciples, as he originally received it from the Lord. The Lord is Purnam, all perfect, and there is no possibility of his becoming subjected to the laws of material nature. One should therefore be intelligent enough to know that the Lord is the only proprietor of everything in the universe and that he is the original creator, the creator of Brahma. In the 11th chapter, the Lord is addressed as Parampita. Uh, par, uh, Prapati Maha. Prapita
Parampita.
Maha. Parampita. Something's wrong here. Because Brahma is addressed as Pitamaha, the grandfather, and he is the creator of grandfather. So no one should claim to be the proprietor of anything. One should accept only things set aside for him by the Lord as his quota for his maintenance. There are many examples given of how we are to utilize those things which are set aside for us by the Lord. This is also explained in Bhagavad Gita. In the beginning, Arjuna decided that he should not fight in the battle of Kurukshetra. This was his own decision. Arjun told the Lord that it was not possible for him to enjoy the kingdom after killing his own kinsmen. This decision was based on the body because he was thinking that the body was himself and that his bodily relations or thinking that the relations or expansions were his brothers, nephews, brother-in-laws, grandfathers, and so on. Therefore, he wanted to satisfy his bodily demands. Bhagavad Gita was spoken by the Lord just to change this view. And at the end, and the end, decides to fight under the direction of the Lord when he says, uh, Karishe Vachanam Tava. I shall act according to your word. In this world, men are not meant for quarreling like cats and dogs. Men must be intelligent to realize the importance of human life and refuse to act like ordinary animals. A human being should realize the aim of his life, and this direction is given in all Vedic literatures, and the essence is given in Bhagavad Gita. Vedic literature is meant for human beings, not for animals. Animals can kill other living animals, and there is no question of sin on their part. But if a man kills an animal for the satisfaction of his uncontrolled taste, he must be responsible for breaking the laws of nature. And in the Bhagavad Gita, it is clearly explained that there are three kinds of activities according to the different modes of nature: the activities of goodness, the of passion, and of ignorance. Similarly, there are three kinds of eatables also: eatables in goodness, passion, and ignorance. All of this is clearly described, and if we properly utilize the instructions of Bhagavad Gita, then our whole life will become purified. And ultimately, we will be able to reach the destination which is beyond this material sky. Yad gatva na nivartante tad dharma parmam mama.
Mama, Paramam, Mama.
Parmam mama.
Thank you, Jyoti Mataji.
Thank you.
Hare Krishna. Anyone else wants to read next 2-3 paragraphs? So we are reading from that destination. This is the paragraph. That destination is called, yeah, this one. No?
Oh, Prabhuji, I can read it, but yeah, from the screen itself. Yeah, is that okay?
Yes, I'll move for you. Yeah, I'll move it.
Yeah, thank you, Prabhuji. Yeah. The destination is called Sanatana, sky, the eternal spiritual sky. In this material world, we find that everything is temporary. It comes into being, stay for some time, produce some by-produce, dullness, and then vanish. That is the law of a material world. Whether we use as an example this body or a piece of fruits or anything. But beyond this temporary world, there is another world of which we have information. That word consists of another nature, which is Sanatan, eternal. Jiva is also described as a Sanatana, eternal, and the Lord is also described as a Sanatana. In the 11th chapter, we have an intimate relationship with the Lord, and because we all are qualitatively one, the Sanatana Dharma or the sky, the Sanatan Supreme Personality, and the Sanatana living entities. The whole purpose of Bhagavad Gita is to revive our Sanatana occupation or Sanatan Dharma, which is the eternal occupation of the living entity. We are temporarily engaged in these activities, but all these activity can be purified when we give up all these temporary activities and take up activity which are prescribed by the Supreme Lord. That is called our pure life. The Supreme Lord and his transcendental abode are both Sanatana, as are the living entities. And the combined association of Supreme Lord and the living entity in the Sanatan abode is the perfection of human life. The Lord, can you switch on the page? The Lord,
Yes.
yeah. The Lord is very kind to the living entity because they are his son. Lord Krishna declared in Bhagavad Gita, Sarv Unisiv, Allah Bija Pradha Pita. I am the father of all. Of course, these are all type of living entities according to their various karmas. But here, the Lord claimed that He is the father of all of them. Therefore, the Lord descended to reclaim all of these fallen conditioned soul to call them back to the Sanatana, my eternal sky, so that the Sanatana living entities may regain their eternal Sanatana position in the eternal association with the Lord. The Lord comes himself in a different incarnation, or he sends, or it once again. The Lord comes himself with a different incarnation, or he sent his confidential servant as son or his associate or acharya to reclaim the conditioned soul. Therefore, Sanatana Dharma does not refer to any sectarian process, religion. It is eternal function of the eternal living entity in relations with the eternal Supreme Lord. Sanatan Dharma refers, as stated previously, to the eternal occupation of a living entity. Shripada Ramanujacharya has explained the word Sanatana as that which has neither beginning nor end. So when we speak Sanatan Dharma, we must take it for granted on the authorities of Shripada Ramanujacharya that it has neither beginning nor end. The English word religion is the little different from Sanatan Dharma. Religion convey the idea of faith, and the faith may change. One may have faith in particular process, and he may change this faith and adopt another. But Sanatan Dharma refer to the activity which cannot be changed. For instance, liquidity cannot be taken from water, nor can heat be taken from a fire. Similarly, eternal function of a eternal living entity cannot be taken from a living entity. Sanatan Dharma is eternally integral with the living entity. When we speak Sanatan Dharma, therefore, we must take it for a granted on the authority of Shripada Ramanujacharya that it has neither beginning nor end. That which has neither end nor beginning nor be sectarian, for cannot be limited to any boundaries. Those belonging to some other sectarian faith with wrongly consider that Sanatan Dharma is also a sectarian. But if we go deeply into the matter and consider in the light of a modern science, it is possible for us to see that Sanatan Dharma is the business of all the people of the world, nay, of all the living entities of the universe. Non-Sanatan religion faith may have some beginning in the annals of Prabhuji.
Yes.
You have to.
Yeah. Yes.
In the annal of human history, but there is no beginning of the history of Sanatan Dharma because it remains eternal with the living entity. Insofar as the living entities are concerned, the authorities, Shastra, state that the living entities has neither birth nor death. In the Gita, it is stated that the living entity is never born nor dies. He is eternal and indestructible and continue to live after the destruction of the temporary material body. In reference to the concept of Sanatan Dharma, we must try to understand the concept of the religion from a Sanskrit root. Meaning of the word dharma refers to which is constantly existent with a particular object. We consider that there is a heat and the light along with the fire. Without heat and light, there is no meaning of the word fire. Similarly, we may discover that the essential part of our living being, that part is which has constant companion, the constant companion in his eternal quality, and the eternal quality is the eternal religion. When Sanatan Goswami asked Shri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu about the Shripa of the living and Swarup of the living being, and the Lord replied that the Swarup, or a constitutional position of a living being, is the rendering of service to the Supreme Personality of Godhead. If we analyze the statement of the Lord Chaitanya, we can easily see that every living being is constantly engaged in the rendering service to other living beings. A living being serve other living beings in a various capacity. By doing so, the living entity enjoy life. The lower the animal serve human being or the servant serve their master. A serve B master, B serve C master, C serve D master, and so on. Under these circumstances, we can see that the one friend serve another friend, and the mother serve the son. The wife serves the husband serves the wife, and so on. If we go on searching in this spirit, it will be seen that there is no exception in the society of a living being to the activity of a service. The politician person is a manifesto for the public and to convince them for his capacity of service. The voter therefore gives the politician their valuable vote, thinking that he will render the valuable service to the society. The shopkeepers serve the customer, and the artisans serve the capitalist. The capitalist serve the family, and the family serve the state in terms of an eternal capacity of the eternal living being. In this way, we can see that the no living being and exempt from sending a service to the other living being, and therefore we can safely conclude that the service is the Prabhuji? The service is the constant companion of a living being, and that the rendering of a service is the eternal religion of a living being. Yet, man processes to belongs to a particular type of faith with reference to a particular time and circumstances, and thus claims to be a Hindu, Muslim, Christian, Buddhist, or adherence to any other sectary. Such distinction are non-Sanatan Dharma. A Hindu may change their faith to become a Muslim, or a Muslim may change his faith to become a Hindu, or a Christian may change his faith, and so on. But all circumstances, the change of religion faith does not affect the eternal occupation of a rendering service to other. The Hindu, Muslim, or Christian in all circumstances is servant of someone. Thus, to profess the particular type of a faith is not to profess one's Sanatan Dharma. The rendering of service is Sanatan Dharma. Yes, Prabhu.
Yes. So I think we can take a pause here and discuss a little bit. That okay, Rajiv Prabhu, and then Simran Mant can read.
Sure, Prabhu.
Thank you so much. All right, so little bit discussion. We have been reading from last 25 minutes, 20 minutes. So we read here that Prabhupada started with the question of what is consciousness, right? And then he says consciousness is that our identity, the sense of identity is a consciousness. And then he goes on to say, then living entity thinks that we are creator, we create something, or we enjoy something. But then he explains that Supreme Lord is a creator and he's the enjoyer. It's like a machine or our body, right? If your stomach thinks that stomach is the enjoyer, then the whole body will not nourish because the stomach will not supply food to other body parts. And if the root of the tree thinks that the root is a creator and enjoyer, then the whole tree will vanish, right? So similarly, when we think Krishna is not an enjoyer and creator, and we are creating and enjoying, we created our family, we created our house, we created our everything what we have, then that's a problem. And then he goes on to explain impersonal Brahman and then personal Brahman. And when he explains that this world is temporary and Vedic knowledge is Vedic knowledge is perfect because it comes from authority and disciplic succession. And this is not a question of researching. He gave example of cow dung, which we know that now that scientifically it has antiseptic properties. And the reason we cannot manufacture Vedic knowledge because we have imperfect senses. We tend to commit, everyone commits mistakes, right? Everyone is, it's sometimes illusioned. has tendency to cheat others and is limited by imperfect senses. Even best of the research we do is limited by the tools and technique we use, and they have limitations. There is never 100% something, right? And we know that there is a limit you can look under microscope. There is a limit you can analyze things. There's the limit of, calculation, the limit of interpretation. So we are limited and imperfect senses. We cannot create perfect knowledge. So therefore, we cannot alter Vedic knowledge, right? And then he goes on explaining now, we are actually affected by different modes: goodness, passion, ignorance, and everything in this world you can classify in under three modes. There are three, the type of foods, type of the way of living, the way of thinking, the way of, walking, talking, everything can be classified under these three modes. And then Krishna says, I am the father of everything. And then here comes the question of religion and faith. Last we were reading. And I didn't knew about this Sanatan Dharma until I read Prabhupada books, especially this introduction part, you see. I used to think Sanatan Dharma is Hinduism, like Hindu is Sanatan. You can also, all of you can testify, like what was your understanding of Sanatan? Anybody wants to say anything? Sanatan, nowadays also you see a lot of Sanatan Dharma, Sanatan, all that is everywhere people talk about. Let's re-establish Sanatan Dharma and all, right? There is a lot of discussion. So now everybody is clear what is Sanatan Dharma after this reading? Or anybody wants to? I would like you to share something, like what do you understand by Sanatan Dharma?
Hare Krishna, Prabhu.
Yes.
Prabhu, I don't know whether I know correctly or not, but I think Sanatan Dharma is a way of life, and it is right from the very beginning of the creation.
Yes.
Which is eternal kind of state
So,
of
but
affairs.
if you have to give an example, then how do you explain that?
Of Sanatan Dharma? Sanatan Dharma, when I think when from the moment or the time when this material world, before the material world came into existence, it was there before that. So it is eternal in a way. So there's no beginning of this, I think.
Yes. No, I was asking if you would like to share any example. Somebody, asking, give me an example how to understand.
Hare Krishna, Prabhuji. Prabhuji, the example given by Prabhupada regarding the fire, the light and the heat you cannot take from fire. It's an eternal form. So Sanatan Dharma is basically eternal. Eternal is nothing to do with Hindu, Muslim, Christian, right? So that is why he's trying to convey a message. Sanatan is eternal since inception, right? And
Yes.
from that perspective, everybody is a Sanatan. They follow different, whatever, say Hindu, Muslim, but that comes later. Sanatan is inception and eternal.
Yes. Thank you, Prabhu. Simranji, you want to say something?
Hare Krishna Prabhuji, Dandvat Pranam. Hare Krishna everyone, Dandvat Pranam. So Sanatan Dharma is not only dharma, it's way of living. Actually, it relates to soul, which is eternal. From the beginning to end, it relates to soul. So soul relates to Sanatan Dharma.
Right. Thank you. Thank you, everyone. So for discussion, anybody else wants to say anything? Yes, Kaustubha Prabhu said, Jira Swarupa, Nityadas to understand we are Krishna's devotees, humble servant. Yes, thank you, Prabhu. In the chat, I was reading, he wrote in the chat. So to understand basic, we should remember this because this is very basic and we always miss basics, right? It's like your phone. What is the Sanatan Dharma of your phone, right? Everything in this world has some function, some called constant companion, which you cannot call that thing without that function or without that nature. So for example, our phone has a function of calling, main function of a phone to make phone calls, and then you can take photos, then can do a lot of things. But if you have a phone and you cannot make a phone call, so what is the use of that phone, right? You won't call it a phone, right? If you have a smartphone, then you can do more other things. But basic function of phone is communication. One can say I can communicate with laptop and everything, but everything has a unique function. Like basic function of camera is take photos. Basic function of a book to allow you to read. If I make a book blank pages, you will not call a book. You want some written character in it, right? Some message should be there in a book. So what is Sanatan Dharma of this book? Is to have some message, right? Exactly. So but we are not taught all this. Like somehow this whole connection is missing. So here, what we understand, Prabhupada gives example, everybody is serving, right? Whether you're a Hindu, Muslim, Christian, Sai, every living entity, including animals, every soul has this constant nature is to serve. Whether what religion you are, what type of body one has to serve in some capacity, whether you are president, prime minister, whatsoever position in this world, everybody is to serve, right? So Prabhupada here write in the paragraph that therefore we can safely conclude that service is the constant companion of the living entity. So Sanatan Dharma, you can remember this one line, Sanatan Dharma is service, okay? So constant companion, how it is service, how you prove that? Because the constant companion of any living entity, doesn't matter what type of body, what country, what religion, what gender, whatsoever, right, is to serve. And that never leaves. Whether you are young, old, a male, female, everybody is serving someone, right? And so that's a Sanatan Dharma. But because people have contaminated this whole philosophy, and that's why Bhagavad Gita is important in today's world. People talk about world peace, Sarva Dharma Sambhav, world peace and all that. United Nations, big organization. But they don't align with this Sanatan Dharma of rendering service, right? That in this world, the service is the biggest level of religion. That's why it's called serve is the highest level of religion. If you're not serving, how does it matter what religion you are? And that's the Sanatan Dharma. You can say Seva Dharma, right? Sanatan Dharma. But it's important to know whom to serve, because otherwise people can exploit and cheat, right? If you are serving a wrong master, then it could be dangerous, right? So we need to understand whom to serve, how to serve, and that's what our literature, Bhagavad Gita, Bhagavatam teaches us, right? So, and in service, we need to cooperate. So suppose if I want to serve Rajiv Prabhu, but he doesn't cooperate, he doesn't want service, so then service cannot be done, right? Because it has to be cooperative. And for cooperation, we have to align on central theme, right? Something has to be central. Then only there could be cooperation. Without central theme, there is no cooperation, right? Even you see mundane example of political parties, like Bharatiya Janata Party, right? There is a central theme, around all the political workers work around, and there is one leader under which, like Narendra Modi, everybody is working, right? So there has to be leader, and then there has to be defining process how to serve, and then you're serving, right? So that's what we are here to learn in Bhagavad Gita. Any questions, comments so far?
Prabhu, it means that Sanatan Dharma means the instructions given by the Lord. We are the servants of God. This is our basic nature, basic characteristic. This basic nature, so we cannot separate ourselves from that basic nature, that is to serve the Lord, the Krishna. So,
Yes.
and it is eternal. This sense of duty is eternal. We cannot separate we cannot separate ourselves from the Lord. So I think you are trying to say that Sanatana Dharma means to serve Krishna, to do whatever is being told by the Lord in the scriptures. So
Yes. So first
kind of
is to basic is to, if you are explaining to anyone outside of Krishna consciousness, then Sanatan Dharma is something, as you said, you cannot separate from that thing. Like Prabhupada gives example, water. If you say water, then it has to be liquid, right? If you
Yes,
make it
Prabhu.
solid, you call ice, you say. But it has to have a liquidity. Even ice, after some time, it melts and becomes water, right? So the natural state is something you cannot separate from. That thing is called dharma. Like dharma of the book is to give some message. Dharma of the microphone to pass the amplify the voice, right? Dharma of the phone to communicate. Dharma of the chair to allow me to sit. If this chair doesn't allow me to sit on it, then this chair is not doing its dharma, right? Because that's the dharma of this chair, right? So constant companion of something is called dharma. And now for us, a living entity, our dharma is serve. And we see by example that everybody is serving. Doesn't matter what religion, what caste, creed, country, nationality, what species, animal, whatsoever, everybody is serving, right? So that's our eternal function. For a living entity, eternal function is serve. For a non-living entity, it could be different things, right? Is that clear, Mataji?
Prabhu, okay. The sugar, the
Yes.
dharma of sugar is sweetness.
Sweetness, yeah.
Like that, huh?
Yes. Dharma of salt is salty. If something is not salty, if it's salty, what is the dharma, right? It's missing. Likewise, if you go on, dharma of the son, mother is to serve son and children. Dharma of children is to serve the mother. Dharma of the father to give protection to the family, right? Dharma of the government to give protection and facility to the citizen, right?
Yes,
Everybody has the dharma. Everything in this world has dharma. Dharma of sunglass is to protect from sunlight, right? And right.
yes.
So likewise, we can understand everything in this world with their dharma, and especially we should focus on our dharma. Our dharma is to serve. And now question is whom you are serving. Somebody Christian religion born will serve Jesus Christ. Somebody born in Muhammadan family, Muslim family will serve Muhammad. Somebody born in Hindu family will serve different demigods, right? Somebody born in Krishna conscious family will serve Lord Krishna from birth, right?
It is an inherent quality.
Yeah, inherent quality. Ultimately, Bhagavad Gita, Krishna teaches Ram Bij Prata, we read, which means I am the seed-giving father of every living entity. So what does it mean? Which means that different people have forgotten that message. And we, fortunately, with the help of Srila Prabhupada and Bhagavad Gita, we are trying to get into the right direction, right? Because there could be hundreds ways to reach the same goal. But there is one highway, expressway, which is the right way, right? You can't say that 100 ways are right way, because then what is the point of an GPS? Like, for example, if you take a GPS and you say, I want to go Delhi to Mumbai, right? So there could be 100 routes to go to Mumbai from Delhi. Now, there would be someone who would have traveled that path from Delhi to Mumbai and would have established that, hey, if you take this path, this is the perfect path because I have gone through it. I had researched everything. Now, this is the best way to go. Now we say, no, I want to explore. I don't trust this person. And there is no question of it, right? But if you trust that person's experience, like Vedic knowledge and acharyas, when you go, you take a highway. And then, of course, they will tell, okay, take left, right. Still, there will be rule and regulation. You're going to not exit out here. You're going to continually driving this way. Then you need to stop. There will be traffic, right? There will be tolls, right? But there is in every area, there is something perfect defined. Some people want to take that. Some people don't want to take that. So that's an individual choice, right? So likewise, to serve, there are specific instructions, and that's what Bhagavad Gita teaches. Somebody takes it, somebody doesn't take it. It's their own choice.
Yes, Prabhu. Thank you, Prabhu. I got it.
So everybody, thank you, Mataji. Everybody understood now this Sanatan Dharma, and it's very important you should understand, because otherwise it will be very confusing in going forward. Okay. Okay. So Simranji, do you want to read from the next paragraph in the Bhagavad Gita, worship of different demigods? Do you have a book? No. Okay, I'll share the screen.
But in Hindi.
I'll share the
I
screen.
don't have English version.
Okay. So
Actually,
you read from here in the Bhagavad Gita.
in the Bhagavad Gita, worship of different demigods. From here, Prabhuji.
Sorry? Yes, yes.
In the Bhagavad Gita, worship of different demigods or rendering service to them is not approved. It is stated that in the 7th chapter, 20th verse,
I can read for you. Kamastere
sorry,
Jnanam prapadyante naradmanya devata tam tam niyam avasthaya prakrtya nityaya sharvaya niyata sarvaya. You can read it. Who's
sorry, those who intelligence has been stolen by material desires surrender unto demigods and follow the particular rules and regulations of worship according to their own nature. Here it is plainly said that those who are directed by lust worship the demigod and not the Supreme Lord Krishna. When we mention the name Krishna, we do not refer to any sectarian name. Krishna means the highest pleasure, and it is confirmed that the Supreme Lord is the Prabhuji. Next, please. Reservoir or storehouse of all pleasure. We are all hankering after pleasure. Anandamayo Bhayasata. Vedanta Sutra 1.112. The living entities like the Lord are full of consciousness and they are after happiness. The Lord is perpetually happy, and if the living entities associate with the Lord, cooperate with him and take part in his association, then they also become happy. The Lord descends to this mortal world to show his pastimes in Vrindavana, which are full of happiness. When Lord Shri Krishna was in Vrindavan, his activities with his cowherd boyfriend, with his damsel friends, with the other activity, with the inhabitants of Vrindavan, and with the cows were all full of happiness. The total population of Vrindavan knew nothing but Krishna. But Lord Krishna even discouraged his father Nand Maharaj from worshipping the demigod Indra because he wanted to establish the fact that people need not worship any demigod. They need only worship the Supreme Lord because their ultimate goal is to return to his abode. The abode of Lord Shri Krishna is described in the Bhagavad Gita, sorry, 15th chapter, 6th word. Natad bhasyate suryo न संसको न पावकः यद्गत्वा न निवर्तन्ते तद्धाम परमं मम. That supreme abode of mine is not illumined by the sun or moon, nor by fire or electricity. Those who reach it never return to this material world. Sorry.
Okay, you can read.
This verse gives the description of that eternal sky. Of course, we have a material conception of the sky and we think of it in relationship to the sun, moon, stars, and so on. But in this verse, the Lord states that in the eternal sky there is no need for the sun, nor for the moon, nor electricity or fire of any kind, because the spiritual sky is already illuminated by the Brahma Jyoti, the rays emanating from the Supreme Lord. We are trying with difficulty to reach other planets, but it is not difficult to understand the abode of the Supreme Lord. This abode is referred to as Goloka in the Brahma Samhita 5.37. It is beautifully described. Goloka eva
Nivasate.
nivasate akhilatma bhutah. The Lord resides eternally in his abode Goloka, yet he can be approached from this world and to this end the Lord manifests his real form, Satchidanand Vigrah, BS 5.1. When he manifests this form, the devotees start imagining what he looks like. To discourage such imaginative speculation, he descends and exhibits himself as he is as Shyam Sundar. Unfortunately, the less intelligent deride himself deride him because he comes as one of us and plays with us as a human being. But because of this, we should not consider the Lord one of us. It is by his omnipotency that he presents himself in his real form before us and displays his pastimes, which are replicas of those pastimes found in his abode. In the
Krishna, you can take pause here.
Hare Krishna
Is that okay?
Prabhuji.
Thank you. Thank you for trying. You know your throat is not well. So anybody have any questions so far?
Prabhu, my question is that when Krishna descended to this material world 5,000 plus years ago, then his body was, he was in the Satchitanand Vigraha form, or he was just like a Panchatattva form?
No, he was in Sachidananda Vigraha form. That's why, because how do we know, right? So if you see this picture, you have this front page like Arjuna and Krishna sitting on chariot.
Yes, Prabhu.
And Arjuna's age is around 98, I think. Around. I don't remember exact, but it's given in upcoming verses. Okay. He was at age of 90, but he was looking like 16-year boy. Right? How come?
Yes.
89 years. Okay. That's the purpose
Mhm.
here. What does it mean? Our body dwindles, right? Now I'm around 34. I don't look like my 16-year-old age. We can all compare our pictures from different age.
Mm.
So it doesn't change. He's like, you then one may question, he was born a baby, then he grew as a 16-year-old, right? Like we grew. So then you can give that. Then when he first appeared as the son of Devaki, he appeared in 400 form as Narayana. It's a big boy. Like it was not a small boy. Narayana, Vishnu. And then he, on the request of his mother Devaki, transformed into Devi, right? So
Right.
Krishna can transform into anything. Then, while on battlefield of Kurukshetra, Krishna transformed into Vishwarupa, right? Jindyatic form. We'll read chapter, in the chapter, I think 13, I think, is Vishwarupa form. So we should not, Krishna's body is Satchita Ananda in every situation, whether he is in this material world 4,000 years ago, or he is in as a baby, he is Prabhupada gives example like God is God in any situation, whether he's like a boar, he's like a Narsimha, or he's like a Kurma, he's like a Kachua, or he's like a boar, or he's like a lion. The God is God. He's like a baby in the lap of Mother Yashoda, and then he killed Putan. So he was God in every situation. God is not created by meditation or breathing exercise, like by meditation and breathing, after becoming people become God. No. God is God in by birth. God is God when it is young. God is God when it is old. God is God in every situation, whether it's any species of life, right? God is God as dwarf, like Vamana, right? So that way we can understand that he was in his Sachidananda body.
Yes, you are very right, Prabhu, because when Krishna was very small, he showed his gigantic form to his mother Yashoda
Yes.
as well.
He showed the
So,
universe in his mouth.
yeah,
So
correct,
that's the
correct.
God. Yeah,
Yes.
that's how we can understand that who is God and who is not God. And then you have 6 opulences in full, like unlimited beauty, unlimited knowledge, unlimited renunciation, unlimited strength, and there is one more missing. See my imperfect memory. So, okay, anybody else has anything? We have another 5-7 minutes, around 10 minutes max. So, any thoughts? Anything want to say? Okay, so I'm going to read, and then one more person can read after that. Just raise your hand, and I'll come to you. Okay. In the effulgence rays of the spiritual sky, there is innumerable planet floating. Brahmajyoti emanates from the supreme abode Krishna Loka, and the Anandamaya or Chinmaya planets, which are not immaterial, floats in those rays. So here what you're reading, generally it is said that Brahmajyoti is void and impersonal, right? There is nothing in it. What could be in light? What you're reading here in Brahmajyoti, there is this planets, right? You see that? Floating innumerable planet, and these planets are not material, floats in those rows. It's called Anandamaya, Chinmaya planets. This is new information. I didn't knew this. The Lord says, Na tad bhasayate shuryo na sasanko na pavaka yad gatva na nirvartante tad dhamam paramam mama. One who can approach that spiritual sky is not required to descend again to material sky. In the material sky, even if we approach the highest planet, Brahmaloka, what to speak of the moon, we will find the same condition of life, nearly birth, death, disease, and old age. No planet in this material universe is free from these 4 principles of material existence. Living entity is traveling from one planet to another, but it is not that We can go to any planet as we like, merely by mechanical arrangement. If we desire to go to other planet, there is a process of going there. This is mentioned, yanti deva vrata devan pitram yanti pitra vrata. No mechanical arrangement is necessary if we want interplanetary travel. In the Gita instructs yanti deva vrata devan. The moon, the sun, and the higher planets are called Swargaloka. There are three different status of planets: higher, middle, and lower planetary system. The Earth belongs to the middle planetary system. Bhagavad Gita informs us how to travel to the higher planetary system, Devaloka, with very simple formula: Yanti Deva Vrata Devan. One need only worship the particular demigod for that particular planet, and in that way go to the moon, the sun, or any other higher planetary system. That Bhagavad Gita does not advise us to go to any of the planets in this material world, because even if we go to Brahmaloka, the highest planet, through some sort of mechanical contrivance, by maybe traveling for 40,000 and years, and who would live that long? We will still find the material inconveniences of birth, disease, old age, and death. But one who wants to approach the supreme planet, Krishna Loka, or any other planet within the spiritual sky, will not meet with these material inconveniences. Amongst all the planets in the spiritual sky, there is one supreme planet called Goloka Vrindavan, the original planet in the abode of original personality of Godhead, Sri Krishna. All of this information is given in Bhagavad Gita, and we are given through its instruction, information, how to leave the material world and begin a truly blissful life in a spiritual sky. In the 15th chapter, Bhagavad Gita, the real picture of material world is given. It is said, Udvamulam adhashakam swastham prahuravyayam chandashi yasya paranani yashyam tam vedasha vedavit. Here in the material world, which is described as a tree whose roots are upward and branches are below. We have experience of a tree whose roots are upward. If we stand on the bank of a river or any reservoir of water, you can see that the tree reflected in the water are upside down, the branches going upward and the root downward and the roots upward. Similarly, this material world is the reflection of the spiritual world. The material world is but a shadow of the reality. In the shadow, there is no reality of substantiality. But from the shadow, we can understand that there is a substance and reality. In the desert, there is no water, but the mirage suggests that there is such a thing as water. In the material world, there is no water. There is no happiness. But the real water of actual happiness is there in the spiritual world. The Lord suggests that we attain the supreme world in the following manner. Bhagavad Gita 15.5. Niramana moha chitasanga dosha adhyatma nitya vinavritta kama dvandarbhamukta shukhadukha shange gacchanamu gacchyantamudha padamavyayam. The Padamavyayam, or eternal kingdom, can be reached by one who is Nirmana Moha. What does this mean? We are after designation. Someone wants to become Sir, someone wants to become Lord, someone wants to become President, or some rich man, or a king, or something else. As long as we are attached to these designation, we are attached to the body, because designation belongs to the body. But we are not those bodies, and realizing this is the first stage in spiritual realization. We are associated with the three modes of material nature, but we must become detached through the devotional service of the Lord. If we are not attached to the devotional service of the Lord, then we cannot become detached from the modes of material nature. Resignation and attachment are due to our lust and desires, our wanting to lord it over the material nature. As long as we do not give up this propensity of lording it over material nature, there is no possibility of returning to the kingdom of the Supreme, the Sanatana Dharma. That eternal kingdom, which is never destroyed, can be approached by one who is not bewildered by attraction of the false material enjoyment, who is situated in the service of the Supreme Lord. One who is situated can easily approach this Supreme Lord. Elsewhere in Gita 8.21 is stated, Avyakta Kshestre Upashakta Uktastam Ahu Paramam Gatim Yam Prapyana Nirvartant nirvartante tadhamam paramam mama. Avyakta means unmanifested. Not even all the material world is manifested before us. Our senses are so imperfect that we cannot see even all the stars within this material universe. In the Vedic literature, we can receive much information about all the planets and we can believe it or not believe it. All the important planets are described in Vedic literature, especially Srimad Bhagavatam. And the spiritual world, which is beyond this material sky, is described avyakta, unmanifested. One should desire and hanker after the supreme kingdom. For one who is one, when one attains that kingdom, he does not have to return to this material world. Next, one may raise question of how one goes to this approaching that abode of the Supreme Lord. Information of this given in 18th chapter. Antakale cha mameva shushmaram muktva kalevaram ya prayati sa madbhavam yanti naste atra samshayaha. And whoever at the end of his life quits his body, rendering me alone, remembering me alone, at once attains my nature. Of this there is no doubt. I'll read again. And whoever at the end of his life quits his body, remembering me alone, at once attains my nature. Of this there is no doubt. Bhagavad Gita, 8th chapter, 5th verse. So we'll end here. It's around page 22. So I'll give a little summary and then we can discuss. And maybe I'll ask a question from all of you. Right? Let's be little, interactive. You can switch on your camera if you can. I can see you. So far, I've been seeing myself. If possible, you can switch on. So we all of us love our family, right? You can be, or you can use your mic. Like you love your family where you're born. There is something in life you for sure you love. You maybe love yourself, right? Right?
Yes, Prabhuji.
Thank you. So it would be very nice, right, if we remain in the same body and if we can be allowed to be in the same profession, earn same amount of money, like best amount of money you're earning, then there should not be any change. Let's have a perfect life, right? Like everything is perfect. You have a nice family. Children should remain small because they're nice. When they grow up, they do their all kind of things what they want to do. When we remain in the same young age, husband, wife, and the children, it would be very nice, like constant earning of money, young body. You can do hiking, you can do running, you can eat as much you want, whatever you like, no diabetes. So that will be perfect life, right? Everyone agrees.
Yes, Prabhu.
Yes,
So we
Prabhuji.
desire. So we prove that everybody likes that situation. Now we also know that in this world, nobody can have that, right? Because body change. I am young today, become old tomorrow. I have no disease today. Tomorrow I may have a diabetes, blood pressure, heart disease, something like. The children's born are growing up and then go away from house. They're living separately. They get married and they're living separate. They're no longer children now, right? We were sometimes children. Now we are adult. Then our children become grown up, right? So, which means that this world doesn't allow us to do that, what we like to do, right? There is a disease, there is a old age, and at the end, we see people dying. In everyone's life, somebody would have passed away at some point in time. And the people who passed away, they would have loved their family, their property, their house, their village, their nation, their so many things, right? So which means that we have that nature. We want eternity. We want things don't change. We love eternity. We love happiness. Because if everything remains same, then we feel happy that, oh, everything is going nice. That's a happiness, right? You're able to, of course, in bad situation, you don't want eternity. You want it just to go. I don't want that for longer. But some point. So eternity we seek happiness. And of course, knowledge. We don't want to forget anything. We want to remember everything, every moment, right? So it would be nice, right? We remember everything at any time asked for, but we cannot. So this is there. Now, next question is, the biggest question comes that these people who are practicing spirituality, they are considered lazy because they are what exactly you're doing? You're trying to do something which is not this compatible with this world, right? People think that these people are lazy, they don't have any other work, so they take a Bhagavad Gita or Bhagavatam, sit down and read, chant Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare. 2 hour, 3 hour every day is like a mad, right? Why do all this, right? So Prabhupada, the biggest, I'm just trying to describe the motivation behind what we do. We are not fool people doing all this, right? The motivation, we should remember that motivation because that's where you get positivity. We are seeking us after something bigger. Why bigger? We are looking for Krishna Loka. We are looking for higher planetary system, right? And what Prabhupada gives here formula, like Yanti Deva. So he describes Yanti Deva Vrita Devan. Actually, this formula, what we are doing, it can lead us to anywhere we want to go. And we can finally desire, if we desire, that's our choice. Okay. If we desire, we can have eternity, knowledge, and willis, full body, life, and situations in our own life. Not in the even in this body, you can feel that little tinge. But when you leave this body, you go to the Krishna, and then you have Sachidananda body. Now, somebody can say, who believes in all that? Like, why do I need that? Then you go back to the first question I asked, because everybody is seeking towards that permanency. Nothing should change. Nobody likes change. Change is painful, right? Change is painful. So that's why we are looking for something unchanging, something which is always happiness, always knowledge, or eternal. And therefore, based on the Vedic authority and Vedic knowledge and people who have practiced and share with us here coming back as acharyas and a spiritual master, that there is something like that. Now somebody can say, no, I don't believe that. Can you show me that? Right? So in Srimad Bhagavatam, there is a huge description of planetary system. Okay. There is a description of sun, planet, whole planetary system. What we read in space science, it is described, right? And slowly, modern science, including NASA and everyone, is starting to believe those Vedic knowledge because they were perfect calculations, perfect descriptions in detail. So they have started believing a part of Bhagavatam, a part. But moment you talk about Goloka or a spiritual planet, which they cannot experiment with these senses and body, they say, no, that part of Bhagavatam, I don't believe. Like a lot of people in the world believe in Bhagavad Gita because it describes yoga system, it describes Sankhya philosophy, soul, body, mind, intelligence, ego. Oh, that's very nice. That's very nice. And the moment Krishna says, yat yat prapte na yam prapye na nirvartante tad dhamam paramam mama. Moment Krishna says, sarva dharma parityajye mamam ekam sharanam vraja, aham to ham sarva papebhyo mokshasyami ma sucha. Nahi, I don't believe in that. That is not good. You are not this body, this soul. That's fine. There is a soul, there is everything is nice. But that part of Bhagavad Gita, I don't trust. That's all dharma. The religion is for crazy people. Chapter 2 is for me. Chapter 18 is for fools. What kind of nonsense going on, right? So we have to be very careful when dealing and dealing with the external world and ourselves, our own mind. That if my mind believes in chapter 2 of Bhagavad Gita, but not in chapter 18, then it's cheating, right? It's cheating, right? You can't say that you take a physics book and read chapter 1 and chapter 2, you say, no, that's not true. Author did wrong in that chapter 2. No, you have to trust the author. You have to trust the speaker, right? So with that, in this speaking, I'll take a few questions before we end here. That's my understanding and realization so far, and you can share yours as well as some if you have any questions.
Prabhu, you said you have this realization. I mean, I missed the point.
I said that's my realization that we should take complete information. Like, for example, if I say I believe in Bhagavad Gita, Bhagavad Gita says that you are not this body, your soul, and there is a soul within body. There is a karma and yoga. I believe in that. But if I don't believe in chapter 18, where Krishna says Sarvadam Parityajya Mamekam Sharanam Vraja, then I'm cheating, right? Because I'm believing one message of Krishna, but not other. Other saying no,
Yeah.
no.
Yeah, makes
That's
sense.
my.
Yeah.
Likewise, in Bhagavatam, people believe in space information all given in Bhagavatam, but then they
Mhm.
don't believe in bhakti part of Bhagavatam. They say no, no, no. That's just a song and poetic presentation.
Yeah.
But what about
Mhm.
all the other information, right? So, yeah.
Yeah. Prabhu. Prabhu, one clarification.
Yes.
Somebody died, right? We
Yes.
go at a cremation ground, Ram Nam Satya Hai, Ram Nam Satya Hai. And the conscious of our mind at that time is absolutely different. That everything looks real, that nothing is there, all Maya. So we also have to die. So
Yeah.
we might have to take certain thing. We'll do A, B, C, D.
Mm.
And if we take the example of that, Krishna showed the entire the Brahmand roop in Yashoda's Maiya's mouth. But when he was showing him out, entire Brahmand was there. Then and suddenly the illusion happened. She didn't remember what she has seen it. Right
Mm.
now, similarly, when we attend these classes, either every daily or on Sundays, our mood is different, right? But when we come when we come into a daily activity, which are essential part of it, the Maya takes care of those thoughts, right?
Yes. Yes.
So at that time, our mind become our own enemy, kind of a thing. It's difficult to
Correct.
control our
Correct.
mind. So maybe my question is if there's some simple tips are there which can help to
Mhm.
teach this mind a lesson. You keep bloody shut.
Yes.
Yeah.
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 So that's true. Thank you, Pro, for very practical question and for all of us. Yes. So what we are trying to do is to train the mind to maximally remember that we are not this body. Okay. How do we do that? Like a crematorium ground thing you're saying, right? How to remember always the same situation that we are not this body. One day this body may die. Therefore, let's not have enmity. Let's not have bad thoughts. Let's not have, sense of pride and ego and lust and ownership and proprietorship. Without sense of proprietorship, we can enjoy the same thing, right? For example, I'll give you, if I have a plate in front of me, a nice dish like prasadam, right? I can, I can, while I'm taking that prasadam, I can think that I am the owner of the plate, right?
Mhm.
I made this, I got this, I paid for it, so I got this plate in front of me. That is
Mm.
one thought process, like egoistic, right? This is mine.
Mm.
I can't, this is my owner. I earned this, right?
Mm.
But the humble mood, separate. Let's look at second mood, humble mood.
Mm.
Oh, there was such a nice preparation somebody made. Man, this is so delicious. I didn't do. Somebody prepared this. Somebody, cultivated these crops. Somebody supplied this. Somebody sold this to me, somebody cooked this me, somebody made that recipe which was cooked. And now this is I'm eating. It is so nice and nourishing. I should be grateful for so many people did on the midway, because I cannot eat money. I cannot eat currency. I need cooperation, right? Right? These are two different thoughts. Same thing, same object, same process, same activity, right? How this can be dovetailed, how this can be cultivated and maximized is that we try to remember we are not this body, and everybody is serving, everybody is, serving each other. Basic level. I'm not going into deep spirituality, but very basic. Now, the reason it's called what we do in day-to-day life in Krishna consciousness as a practicing devotee. Our morning starts, right? We are at house, we are grihastha, we are not monks, right? We are not like, we have a job, we have a family, we have a house, we have take care of finance, take care of relationship, take care of relatives, everyone, right? And our job and boss. So in that situation, what we do? We get up in the morning, take bath, come to our little whatever space we have, a closet somewhere, our frame and DT, whatever we have. We start our day with prayers daily, right? Prayers like either you chant, Hare Krishna Mahamantra, or you chanting Guru Astakam, and like you are being gratitude to your Guru, just praying to your Guru. Thank you so much for giving me this realization that I'm not this body, I'm the soul. And what is my Sanatan Dharma? My Dharma is to serve. Thank you for giving this information to me. I don't know how to serve better, but then acharyas train us how to serve. Now we start with prayers daily. So now at least maybe 1% or 5% of our time, 24 hours. So if you take 1 hour, 2 hour, so it is around it may be 8%, 7-8% of the day, right? Like we just trying to remember. So if we know by the by the materialistic knowledge, or in general common understanding, common sense, that if we do something regularly, that becomes a part of habit, right? And habit cultivated for longer, it becomes part of our character, our nature, right? Habit. Like somebody is a good football player, after a few years, the person can hit a ball without even looking at it. Now, because then becomes part of the body, like naturally, right? It becomes part of character. So that's how it works. So if daily we chant Hare Krishna Mahamantra, or if we cannot chant, then read one sloka of Bhagavatam. So I was coming to that. So we chant or something, then we cook some prasadam in the kitchen. We cook, of course, or we have to eat something. And we offer to Krishna that, hey, Krishna, you gave me this, everything nice, everything. Let's offer to you Krishna's offering, and then we take as prasadam. I'm grateful. Thank you, Krishna, for giving me this nice prasadam. Now we go to work. Why we are working? So that we can have nice Krishna conscious life. We can give donations. We can maintain our family. Why we are maintaining our family? Because we want to train and cultivate them to be Krishna conscious. Right? I can think of making them doctor, engineer, and everything, but at the same time, Krishna conscious, right? Now come back in the evening or in morning itself, read one sloka of Bhagavatam or Bhagavad Gita, just 5-10 minutes. One message for the day. I may not remember whole day, but my brain, there is a two part of brain. Conscious, which we daily do, and subconscious, which is a storehouse. Right? So it goes in our subconscious brain, right? Now coming back in evening, whole day struggling. And every time we struggle, we pray. Thank you, Krishna, you are in everyone's heart. You are sitting as a Paramatma. Please, we do our job. It's not that we are lazy and crazy fellows. We just pray. No, we do our job. At the same time, praying that give everyone intelligence and they should not harm me, disturb me, right? And we are humble, right? Come back in evening, again, do little kirtan, chant, finish our rounds. Do some service in temple sometime once in a week. And then, talk to devotees and then rest, sleep, right? So this way, that's why I like Krishna. I'm a scientist, but I like Krishna conscious life because this is the most practical way of living happily in this world of turmoil. And this I can explain to everyone, but unless somebody does it and practice it, one may not able to taste it, right? So I gave a detailed little bit giving my example, but I think this may help. It's like Prabhu, Rajiv Prabhu. If we go to crematorium every day, then we will remember that thought every day, right? If you make a
Yeah.
habit of game every day, even if it doesn't have any purpose, just go there, bonding walk. Then see somebody is being burned, somebody is just bring out, you know. And so it's about
Yeah.
intention. Yeah.
Yeah. Hey, Prabhuji, I
At
think
the
you
same
give a
time,
nice example,
sorry,
and I think what I picked up is that whatever we are doing somewhere in the consciousness of the mind, the things are getting registered.
yes.
Yeah. So the more it get registered, the more it will impact in a positive way, kind of thing. So just keep on doing it, kind of a thing. Yeah. We can't beat
Yes.
Maya definitely because everything given by God is perfect. Whatever He has
We pray
designed.
to Maya. We pray to Maya also. We humbly pray, please leave us. Please leave us
I,
so that we can serve Krishna. Please
Mhm.
don't trap me. I don't have a power to defend you. So
Yeah.
then she becomes very merciful. Okay, now you surrendered. Okay, go ahead.
Very well. Yeah. Is there another tip, boss? Yes. Thank you,
Yes.
Prabhuji. Hare
Another
Krishna.
thing I wanted to share, in the crematorium ground, there are a lot of pandas, there are lot of people who burn and so selling woods and so many things in India, right? Where people take river bank like Ganga or Ghat, right? There are so many people, that's their profession. They are doing day by day.
Yeah.
But still they don't have that realization.
Mm.
They will go at their house and fight. They are coming crematorium ground every day. That's their profession.
Yeah.
But so what is that secret? How then
Yeah.
that's where question comes. We should be
Mm.
conscious and knowledgeable whatever we do,
Mm.
right? Our intentions should be clear. They are not going crematorium ground to learn this knowledge, to realize this knowledge that I'm not this body, I'm soul. They are going to sell
Mm.
how many more people come and I can sell the woods and get more
Yeah.
money.
They celebrate that. The more body come, they
Exactly,
celebrate more.
exactly.
Mm.
So same thing you will see some people, they may be super religious, going to temple every day. They may be pujari, they may be big, famous people in the world, like spirituality and sannyasi, yogi, whatsoever. But
Mm.
what is their intention? Intention has to, if they are not thinking of spirituality, then they will cheat and someday they will fall down. They will
Mm.
do some commit some rape, something happen, they did all nonsense. You will see all these news coming, some big priest, big babas, big fall down. Why? Because same thing, like person in crematorium, so trying to sell the woods, never realize throughout life that that one day the
Yeah.
person will also die, right? So
Mm.
that's why we read these literatures like Bhagavad Gita, Bhagavatam, to remind us every day and intentionally, right? Intentionally that I want to know, I want to learn,
Mm.
and
True.
train our mind and senses. Yeah.
Yeah. Thank you, Prabhu.
No, thank you.
Hare
And while
Hare
I'm
Krishna.
let's be honest, while I'm telling you, I'm thinking of myself. This this
Yeah.
this program is not just for you guys,
Yeah.
this people. It's for me because
It's not easy. It's not easy to beat this particular aspect of Maya.
but
It's
it's
very
easy
difficult.
together. It's easy
Very difficult.
together.
Yes. Thank you, Prabhuji. Yeah.
Just like you said, in one on a half hour class, we always very nice, feels very nice and nice discussion. We are not talking about politics. We are not talking about how is economy. We are not talking about Biden and
Mm.
Trump is doing, what Modi is doing, what Congress is doing. What we are talking above everything, right? We are not into
True.
this, whether I have money or not, whether I have disease or not, right? What problem I have in mind. We do talk like I have friends and DOTs, but then we come back to situation. Krishna will help, right? Krishna will
True.
help.
So that realization is there. He does help. He does there, but since everything, whatever he has designed is super perfect, in the sense, if you look at a body, it's super perfect in the sense it will ask for the food. It have its own
Yes.
breathing system going on, right? Tomorrow you have to go to toilet, you can't even stop that. Nothing is in your hand, right? So
Yes.
it's perfectly designed. Similarly, Maya also he designed very perfectly to take
Yes.
care this human rat race of the people.
The whole living entity, just not human, Prabhu. Any
Hmm.
living entity in this world is under control of Maya. Durga Devi, especially this Navratri, is
Yeah.
ninth. So in Navratri, as a deity, what we do pray to Durga Devi. Praying means requesting that, you are sister of Krishna, because she was born as one of the daughter of from Yashoda. She was born and then she was transferred to the Kamsa, and Kamsa saw this Durga. And if you
Hmm.
read that part, you will see there is a nice description of Durga Devi, what is her function in Bhagavatam 10th canto. So we should pray that, I'm a small jiva, I don't have any much power, but by
Hmm.
your mercy, I can have little understanding of your brother Krishna. And please allow
Hmm.
me, and don't entrap me in this world of illusion. So then she helps. She is very happy if you do that prayer. She is very
Oh,
happy.
really? Okay. Good, Prabhuji. Good tip. Yes, good tip. Thanks for
Yeah. Okay, so it's already late. In US as well. I'm going to do survey today. I said last time also. If we can do little early, then it's not too late for India. So I'll let you know next week. But for now, we'll end here. Vam chakal taru vasicha kripa sindhu Nam
Pavanendra Vaishnava Namo Namah.
Jai Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu
Chaitanya Prabhu
Nityananda
Nityananda Sri Advaita Gadadhar Seva Vati Gaur Bhakta.
Hare Krishna Krishna
Krishna
Krishna
Krishna Hare 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 Ram Hare Ram
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 Ram.
Hare Hare.